Today I'm going to show you how to make this sunflower wreath using yellow paper mesh, yellow and lime green paper mesh. And we use some twist balls for the center, and we got these little ladybugs. And if you'll notice, our leaves show up more on this tutorial versus the other tutorials that we've done, but that's because we added an extra step, and we're going to share that with you. This is a double stacked wreath. So let's get started and we'll show you what to do. All of our materials for this wreath are from Trendy. We have paper mesh in lots of different colors, all sorts of work wreath frames, different sizes, and just thousands of ribbons and deco poly mesh. We will create a few kits that'll have all these products in a kit together for you. Now, once a tutorial goes out, the kits usually sell out, within a few days, but we'll have, there's to be a written blog post, and we'll give you the link to that has all the supplies listed that we use for this wreath. Okay? Let's get started. We're going to make our wreath today using a paper mesh. We've got lime green and yellow. This mesh is paper mesh. It's 10 inches in width and 10 yards in length. Now, it is made of paper, so if you're going to use it outside, you have to use it in a very well protected area away from moisture. It does have a coating on it, to help resist moisture, but it is not waterproof. It is made of paper. And we're going to use a 10-inch yellow pencil wreath. And today we're going to do something a little different. We've made this yellow paper mesh flower before, just using the 10-inch wreath, but today we're going to stack the 10-inch wreath on top of a 14-inch box wire wreath. And the reason for that is I want my leaves, or the green paper mesh, to show up more. And of course you may say, well, why not just use a 24-inch wreath? Well, the reason for that is because on the 24-inch wreath, you have such a wider center to fill in. This is an example of a 24-inch wreath. And if you notice, the 24-inch wreaths actually measure 15 inches in width. But with the addition of product, you wind up with a wreath that measures 28 to 30 inches, just depending on what you use on it. But the center of this 24-inch wreath is almost 12 inches wide, whereas the center of our 10-inch wreath is only 7 inches. So it makes a big difference when you go to fill in the center. So we're going to try this and see how it works. Now, what I plan to do is take the 10-inch wreath and just set it on top of this 14-inch box wire wreath. And you'll notice that the box wire wreath doesn't have any twist. So we're going to have to attach our petals with some zip ties. You could use chenille stems or floral wire. And we're going to attach the 10-inch wreath. It's not a perfect fit, but we're going to attach it in 2 or 3 places with zip ties when we get to that part. I think it'll be easier to work with first if we just start with the box wire wreath and do our leaves. Now, we're going to use 10-inch paper, and we're going to cut our pieces of paper 10 inches in width, 10 inches in length, sorry. Now, you're going to have some raveling. All products ravel, whether it be paper, poly, burlap, or anything. So just know that at the end, when you finish, you're going to have some strings that you'll have to clip. That's just part of it. I don't know of any magic tricks to keep it from raveling. Doesn't matter if you use a cutter like this or scissors. We usually sell these, but we're out of them right now. We'll have some more a little later. With a 10-yard roll of mesh, you should be able to get about 36 pieces when you cut it in 10-inch lengths. So we'll probably wind up using most all of the paper mesh, whereas in the past we've not used a whole roll. To make the petal, you just take your mesh, your paper mesh, and you see how it naturally curls up a little bit. Well, we want to flip that over to the back. This is your selvage or your uncut edge. So take a corner, bring it to the center, Take the other corner, bring it to the center. You can let them overlap a little bit, and then just pinch that up. And then when you turn it over, you have your petal. Now we're going to use these tiny little zip ties to secure. You could use chenille stems or floral wire. Anything that you use is still going to kind of slip and slide around, but we're going to try these little zip ties. We're going to start on this outer ring. That noise in the background is Matt. Pull that zip tie just as tight as you can. I'm going to flip my zip tie over to the back and pull on it. Now, like I say, it's going to slip and slide around. I don't think that'll matter once we get all of our leaves on here and then get our next layer of petals. So take those petals and kind of push them to the outside so they make a V. And like I say, you'll have these strings that you'll have to clip. You can clip along the way or wait till you clip them at the end, because you'll create more as you work with it. Now you'll need to take your little zip tie in and clip that off with some wire cutters. Okay. We'll make another one. I think we'll start out with maybe 3 or 4 petals in each of this outer section. Okay, that's 4 petals in this outer section. So there's 6 sections, so that would take 24 petals to go around that ring. And that would leave us like 12 to maybe go on this this section here, if we put like 2 petals in each section. So we'll continue to work around the wreath and see how that looks. And see what I said, you know, the leaves are going to flip and flop like that, but once you get the rest of your wreath made and you get it on the wall, it'll hold it out flat. Here's our wreath after we've gone all the way around that outer ring with 4 petals in each section. And when I talk about each section, I mean between these 2 posts. I'm going to flip it over to the back. Of course, you can see all the strings that I have. I'm not going to worry about my strings right now. I'll clip them at the end. And I'm just going to clip off my ends of my zip ties. Okay, now, like I say, your leaves, they will roll to the back, but once you get your wreath on your wall, you just make sure that you have all your leaves pulled out and not underneath the back of it. Next, we're going to go and put 2 petals in each of the 6 sections, and I think we'll attach them to this ring right here, the second one from the top. Here's our wreath after we've gone all the way around it with our green, and we used all of our green mesh. We had just a little short piece left over. Like I say, I'm not going to worry about the strings right now. I'm going to have to clip them, I know, when I'm done. So if it bothers you, you can start clipping them now, but the more we handle it and move it around, the more strings it's going to create. So next, we need to take our 10-inch yellow pencil wreath, and we're going to attach it to the box wire wreath. Already you can see that this is going to be a much fuller wreath than our yellow flower wreaths in the past because we've used all of the green. So I'm just going to take some zip ties and just pick out a couple of areas and attach the yellow wreath. I think it'll be easier if we attach the two wreaths together first before we start putting our yellow paper on there. I just attached it with 4 zip ties and that should hold it fine. And now we're ready to add our yellow petals, and we're going to cut them the same way as we did the green. We're going to cut 10-inch lengths. We're going to make our yellow petal the same way as we did the green. We're going to just see the natural curl of the paper. We're going to flip that over to the back. Bring each corner, bring those corners to the center and overlap them a little bit, and then just scrunch up through the middle. And you got your flower petals with your leaves smoothed down that way. We're going to start on the outside ring, and we're going to take the twist, and we're just going to lay the petal in the twist. And we're just going to give it a couple of turns because I'm going to do 2 layers of petals. And since I'm just going to do a petal, make another petal. And to do 2 layers of petal, I'm going to open that layers of petals. I'm going to lay that open, lay that second petal down on top, and then this time I'm going to give it 3 or 4 turns. Kind of fluff out my petals, push them to the outside, make that V. And since I'm not going to put anything else in this twist, I'm just going to kind of tuck that twist to the inside, out of the way. Like that. And then I'm going to work all the way around that outer ring of my 10-inch wreath, putting in 2 layers of petals. Now we've gone all the way around our wreath with 2 layers of yellow petals in the outer ring of the yellow wreath. Now we're going to do 2 layers of petals on the inner ring. We've gone all the way around the inner ring with 2 layers of petals. You can see our center is filling up, but we still have, pretty good size hole there to complete. So what we're going to need to do is we have, a little bit left on our yellow paper. We're going to need to fill in a few more places to fill the center in. So we're going to need something to attach our petals to. We're going to make some petals the same way. I'm just going to take our petal, but we're going to have a chenille stem. So we're going to take a chenille stem and just cut it in half and take that petal and just lay the chenille stem across the top. I'll need some yellow ones, but I didn't have any. And just bring it to the back, make it tight. And then you created a little pick. Now what we're going to need is a place to secure this pick. So we're going to take our ties from this last layer and bring them to the center. We're going to take, I guess it'd be easier to do it like this. Take a tie from each side. Take these together and bring them over and just twist them together. Just bring them all to the center. Kind of connect those pieces. You don't have a lot of end to work with. And you can just take some chenille stems and connect them. Or you could use floral wire. If you wanted to take a chenille stem, you would just take it and connect it, you know, across the work wreath frame and just do a couple. I don't know about you, but my grandkids play in my supplies all the time, so I'm out of chenille stems. So, but we just really need something to connect our center to that's going to hold pretty good. So you just want to test that and make sure that that center is not going to come out. You can always use a couple more pieces of wire. This is just some floral wire, just to make sure that that's going to hold good. I'm just going to run that through and wire it from the back. Feels pretty sturdy. Okay, so you made your little petal on the pick. So you just take those little chenille stems and just put it right over. It's like a spoke in a wheel. And just secure that from the back. I'm just twisting that chenille stem together. And that's just going to help fill in that center a little bit. See, that just gives you a few more petals. We have 5 little spokes, so I'm going to put in 5 petals. Now I'm out of chenille stems, so I'm going to use just a little piece of floral wire. Cut that in half. Lay that wire over the top. Just twist it from the underneath side. That really would show less than the chenille stem. That's just a wire that's coated with white paper. Okay, so we added 5 extra petals around our little spoke in the center. We still have a little bit of a hole, so we're still going to put something else in that center. And we still have, maybe 1.5 yards of paper left. In case once you're done, excuse me, in case once you're done you see a gap and you need to go back in and fill in another hole. Now you can fill in your center lots of different ways. You can use a big bloom and just insert it there, or you could make something out of mesh or tinsel tubing, or just lots of different things. What we're going to use today are these twist balls. I have 3 sets, 3 pieces, and it's just a styrofoam ball on a little piece of green tinsel that's wired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread this up from the inside of the wreath. Just thread that up through the little spoke that we made. And once I get it there, I'm just going to give it a twist. I'm going to go ahead and do I'm going to thread all 3 of them up in there. just kind of loose and floppy right now, but then I'm going to take them and I'm going to just keep twisting them until I get them twisted around each other and make them snug. Like that. You don't want to twist them so tight that you pull them off of their little pegs. But something like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to flip my wreath over to the back, and I'm going to look at these chenille stems that I tied. I'm going to make sure that they don't have any sharp edges sticking out. And at this point, I'm going to take my scissors and clip my strings. You'll want to flip your wreath over and clip the strings from the back too. And probably after you hang it, you'll have to clip strings again. So just know that you'll have to clip strings. We're going to add this little ladybug to our wreath. It's made out of styrofoam and covered with like a felt like material. And what I did was just take a floral wire and run it through the felt material. It's very light, so it's not going to take much to hold it. But you could also take, this is made out of styrofoam, so you could poke a little hole in it with an ice pick or something and put a short wooden floral pick in it and hot glue that if you wanted to. Or you could just apply hot glue and put it on there. But I'm gonna use this wire, this little floral wire, and just attach it then, attach the floral wire to the work wreath. Well, there's our wreath after we finished it. The overall wreath measures about 28 inches. You can tell if you've looked at our previous tutorials that it is a little wider than our previous wreaths, and that's because we did that extra step to add in more leaves. Remember that this is paper mesh. It's made of paper. It does have a coating on it to help it resist moisture, but it is still made of paper, so you need to use it inside or in a very well protected area away from moisture. Thanks for watching our video today. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel. There's a little button on the right side of your screen, a little icon that you can click on to subscribe, and that way you won't miss our next tutorials coming out. We've got several coming out. And we hope that you'll share our videos with your friends. We appreciate it so much. And follow us on Facebook and Pinterest. Come by and visit us at Trendy. We sell lots of different materials to make wreaths out of, and we have lots more tutorials coming up. You'll have to go back and clip some strings when you get through. How you like it?
I like the ladybugs. Where'd you get them?
We got the ladybugs. Well, we got those a while back. And ladybugs are very popular. Have you seen any ladybugs in the shop?
Yeah, right over there.
Okay, what happened to your face?
No,
Kind of red. You been outside?
Yeah, I had to run down here, but so yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's finish up this video. Okay, thanks for dropping in. Be sure and subscribe to our channel. There's a little button there on the right side of your screen where you can subscribe so you won't miss our next video coming out. What kind of video should we do next?
A Valentine's Day.
Oh, a Valentine's Day? About another Valentine wreath. We do need to do that. You going to help me do that?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Very good. I like having help. Okay.
You know, I got this. Both colors.
Both colors. What is that?
It's on chapstick.
Chapstick. Is it peppermint?
Yeah, it's peppermint.
All right. Very good.
I'm about to open it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to work on a Valentine wreath next.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks for dropping in. Bye-bye now.